Across the deserts and high plateaus of the American Southwest, endless stretches of red rock, sagebrush, and open skies create a landscape unlike anywhere else in the world. For centuries, these lands have been home to Native American cultures whose traditions reach back hundreds of generations. Among the many stories born from this region, one name seems to capture people's curiosity more than almost any other: the Skinwalker. What makes this mystery especially interesting is that it isn't simply a tale about a monster hiding in the wilderness. Instead, it comes from the traditional beliefs of the Navajo people, where the subject carries deep cultural and spiritual significance. In fact, many Navajo prefer not to discuss it openly. And sometimes, the stories that remain untold become the ones that spark the greatest curiosity. So where did the legend really begin? Before diving into internet stories and modern sightings, it's important to understand where the Skinwalker tradition comes from. According to traditional Navajo belief, a skinwalker is not a mysterious species or an undiscovered animal. Instead, the term refers to a human who is believed to have gained supernatural abilities through practices considered deeply forbidden within Navajo culture. Because the subject is closely tied to sacred traditions, many details have never been publicly shared. Even today, many members of the Navajo community feel that discussing skinwalkers casually or for entertainment is something that should be avoided. As a result, much of what people think they know today actually comes from outside the culture itself. Movies, television, books, podcasts, internet forums. Over time, traditional beliefs became mixed with modern storytelling, making it increasingly difficult to separate authentic cultural traditions from popular fiction. And once those lines began to blur, the mystery only grew larger. One reason the Skinwalker has become so well known is the number of unusual stories connected to the Four Corners region, where Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado meet. Witnesses have described seeing large, animal-like figures moving in ways that simply didn't seem natural. Some claimed they saw an enormous wolf. Others reported something resembling a deer standing with an oddly human posture. A few described dark silhouettes, crossing roads with incredible speed before disappearing into the night. Despite the variety of stories, one detail appears again and again. No one has produced clear evidence that definitively explains what was seen. Photographs are often blurry. Videos are usually too dark, and eyewitness accounts rarely match one another perfectly. Ironically, those inconsistencies may be exactly why the mystery continues to survive. Over the years, countless stories have described the Skinwalker as possessing unusual abilities. Some legends claim it can take the appearance of different animals. Others suggest it can imitate human voices, or even the voice of someone, to lure people closer. Some accounts describe incredible speed, while others mention behavior that seems almost impossible to explain. But here's the important thing. These descriptions come primarily from oral traditions, folklore, and personal experiences. None of these abilities have ever been verified through scientific investigation. Yet because they can neither be confirmed nor completely disproven, each generation seems to add another layer to the legend. And with every new retelling, the mystery grows a little deeper. So what might actually explain the Skinwalker mystery? There isn't one single answer, but several theories are often discussed. The first is simple misidentification. The American Southwest is home to coyotes, wolves, deer, owls, mountain lions, and many other nocturnal animals. In darkness, with limited visibility and an already active imagination, it's surprisingly easy for the human brain to misinterpret unfamiliar shapes or movements. This explanation is supported by what we know about human perception. However, some witnesses insist that what they encountered didn't resemble any ordinary animal. A second theory focuses on cultural tradition. Many anthropologists believe Skinwalker stories serve as an important part of Navajo cultural teachings, reinforcing moral values and reminding people to respect traditions and avoid harmful behavior. This theory helps explain why the stories have endured for generations. At the same time, it isn't intended to prove or disprove the existence of anything supernatural. The third theory centers on modern media. Over the past few decades, movies, television shows, YouTube videos, podcasts, and social media have introduced the Skinwalker to audiences around the world. Once a legend becomes widely known, people may naturally connect unusual experiences to that legend. Psychologists call this a form of expectation or pattern recognition. When people already have a story in mind, ordinary events can sometimes feel much more mysterious than they actually are. Finally, there's the theory favored by many cryptid enthusiasts. What if some reports truly describe something we don't yet understand? Supporters of this idea argue that not every account can be easily explained, leaving open the possibility that a small number of sightings may represent something still unknown. It's an intriguing possibility, but so far, no scientific evidence has confirmed it, which means the mystery remains exactly that, a mystery. Whether the Skinwalker exists or not, the story reminds us of something surprisingly meaningful. Legends often reveal just as much about people as they do about mysterious creatures. Behind every old tale lies a history, a culture, and a unique way of understanding the world. That's why it's important to approach the Skinwalker with both curiosity and respect, especially since its origins are deeply connected to Navajo traditions. We don't have to believe every story, but we can appreciate the culture that gave birth to it. Sometimes that's the most fascinating part of the mystery. Even today, the Skinwalker remains one of North America's most enduring cryptid mysteries. Some people see it as nothing more than folklore. Others believe there may still be questions science hasn't answered. Perhaps we'll eventually uncover the truth, or perhaps the unanswered questions are exactly what keep the legend alive. The next time you find yourself driving through the quiet deserts of the American Southwest, watching the sun disappear behind distant mesas, you might remember this story. Not because you expect to see something strange, but because places with long histories often hold stories that continue to spark our imagination. So what do you think? Is the Skinwalker simply an ancient legend that's grown over time? Or could there still be something out there waiting to be understood? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. And who knows, your idea might just add another piece to one of the world's most fascinating cryptid mysteries. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay curious.